I'm Sean. I'm a DJ, traveler, snowboarder, and a bit of a coffee nerd. One afternoon, I was sitting in a coffee shop with my friend Chris. I had a really good espresso sitting in front of me, and we were catching up on music, snow conditions, and the usual Colorado stuff. Chris works in climate tech, so eventually the conversation drifted that way. At one point, Chris looked out the window and said, "See that Tesla parked out there?" I laughed and said, "Yeah, so what? This is Colorado." He said, "Electric cars matter. They reduce emissions from transportation. That's one big reason the government gives people tax credits for them." Then he paused and added, "But transportation isn't the whole problem. A huge amount of carbon still comes from heavy industry, like gas power plants." He started talking about something called the 45Q tax credit. Basically, the government will pay people to capture carbon dioxide from industrial plants instead of releasing it into the atmosphere. Then he said something that really caught my attention. Most people think carbon capture is way too complicated. Like every project has to be custom built and nothing really ever scales. He took a sip of his coffee and said, "But if someone figures out the right approach, it could end up being pretty standard in most factories. Not some crazy science project, just another system that plants install to keep emissions in check." Then he said something that really made my accountant brain lean in. If that actually happens, the incentives behind this could be huge. The market for those 45Q tax credits could end up reaching hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe even closer to trillions of dollars. And that was the moment something clicked for me. I remember thinking, I might actually get to use my finance skills to help do something meaningful. That conversation sent me down a rabbit hole learning about carbon capture. And when the timing was right, I joined Frost Carbon. Frost Carbon is developing a carbon capture technology that captures carbon dioxide directly from industrial exhaust streams before it reaches the atmosphere. In simple terms, the process cools and compresses gases so that carbon dioxide can be separated out. No chemicals, no extra water, and it works on retrofits. When you're DJing, everything comes down to the mix. If something feels out of balance, you adjust the levels to bring everything back into sync. The climate challenge is a lot bigger than a DJ booth, but the idea isn't that different. Right now, the system is out of balance. And at Frost Carbon, we're working on a way to bring it back into sync.